7 reasons why Warner Bros. Will not restore the SnyderVerse. Zack Snyder's Justice League certainly turned out to be so much better than the theatrical cut. It had a different tone. All the characters got room to breathe with the extra screen time. And fans across the world were happy to see their constant demands be heard by the studio. Even the critics joined in, as 71% of them were joyed by the film. But sadly, the hype that Snyder Cut created wasn't enough for Warner Bros. To #restore the SnyderVerse. They were never going to do it anyway. But even the success of Zack Snyder's Justice League won't bring back what we lost 4 years ago. The original plan for the DCEU was great and pretty bold. In fact, it would have done what Warner Bros. Actually wanted to do, that is, compete with Marvel. But the studio got cold feet after Batman vs. Superman and completely changed their approach. And now, they're not going to restore the SnyderVerse because of the following reasons. Performance. Streamers usually don't reveal their numbers, but we did get a few scoops from a trade called Samba TV. They reported that the Snyder Cut delivered 1.8 million views on its opening weekend, and out of that, only 1/3 of the viewers actually finished the film. It was good, but much less compared to the numbers of Wonder Woman 1984, Godzilla vs. Kong, and Mortal Kombat. Although, Samba TV has reported that in its first 39 days, 3.7 million US households have watched Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's still less than Mortal Kombat. And it's just not enough, as the film didn't really bring a lot of new subscribers to the streamer. Warner Media revealed that during the first quarter of 2021, the service only gained an additional 2.7 million subscribers. By comparison, over 4 million subs signed up during the fourth quarter of 2020. So that means most people who wanted to watch the film had already joined the streamer back in 2020. It happened with the hype of Wonder Woman 1984 and the announcement of all other 2021 movies of Warner Bros. Coming to HBO Max. Zack Snyder's Justice League has performed extremely well on other streamers across the globe. But sadly, it just isn't enough. Too expensive. All of Zack Snyder's DC movies were quite expensive. Man of Steel had a budget of $225 million plus marketing. Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice cost $250 million plus marketing. And Justice League's cost was around $300 million due to Joss Whedon's reshoots. But even when Snyder was brought back to finish the VFX, it took over $70 million to do that. So if Justice League 2 and Justice League 3 are supposed to be even bigger in scale and scope, then they'll certainly cost well over $500 million in total. And that is just too much if the films are only supposed to arrive on streamers. Warner Bros. Won't be offering these sequels a theatrical release because they consider Joss Whedon's version to be canon. And making them on a smaller budget might mean that Snyder will have to lower the quality of his sequels. Even if they are greenlit as TV series, budgetary problems will arise because even the bigger budgeted shows don't go past $150 to $180 million per season. And the Justice League sequel series would be asking for way more. HBO Max doesn't have the subscriber base to support that cost alone. Convoluted timelines. Warner Bros. Has been trying their heart and soul to push out the statement that Justice League is canon to the theatrical DCEU. HBO Max recently launched a trailer for Zack Snyder's DCEU trilogy, and it stated that the film marks the ending of the trilogy. Aquaman technically followed the theatrical version of Justice League. Shazam probably did the same. And the upcoming Flash, Black Adam, and Aquaman films are going to do that as well. So if Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 is given the green light for a theatrical release, then people will be confused of the timeline that needs to be followed. And I've already told you why the sequels can't really happen on the streamer due to the budget requirements. Contract expiration. The contracts of most actors involved with the Snyder Cut have expired, so it will take a lot of work to sign up new contracts and assemble the cast again when most of the actors have a packed schedule for the next 2 years. Restoring the SnyderVerse will be very difficult logistically. On top of that, Ray Fisher has a major tussle with Walter Hamada, who is the current president of DC-based film production. Fisher has claimed that he'd only work on future DC projects if Hamada apologizes to him. And that brings us to the part of accountability and acknowledgement. Warner Bros. Was wrong to let go of Snyder, bring in Joss Whedon, and then lie about the fact that it was Snyder who chose Whedon for the job. Zack Snyder's Justice League has simply proven how the studio butchered his film with Whedon and Jeff Johns in charge. On top of that, there have been so many racism and harassment claims against Whedon and Johns by the cast members. Toby Emmerich was the chairman of Warner Bros. Back then, and now he has also taken full control of original feature film production for HBO Max. So if he greenlights the SnyderVerse, then the message it would send ahead is that the studio was wrong in 2017. Even though everyone knows that the studio executives were wrong to let Snyder go, reshoot his film, and post all the stupid guidelines on it, no studio in their right mind would ever acknowledge it. Because of this fear of admission, the Snyder Cut wasn't even promoted by the US-based YouTube channels of Warner Bros. The trailers just came out on HBO Max's channel. Can you imagine a studio not promoting a film that would ultimately benefit them? It's absurd! On top of that, Warner Bros. Actually tried to sabotage the film by releasing Godzilla vs. Kong just one day after it. The Snyder Cut was initially supposed to arrive on March 25th, and then Warner Bros. Pulled Godzilla vs. Kong to March 26th. Then the release dates were changed after that clash. The Snyder Cut was moved to March 18th, and Godzilla vs. Kong to March 31st. Right after its release, Warner Bros. Released several casting updates for The Flash and other DC films. It was allegedly done to shift the focus of the audience from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Fandom. The restless SnyderVerse fans have actually been termed as toxic fandom. All that the fans want is to be heard. There have been several billboards, privately run ads, and so many other campaigns supporting Snyder's films. Hashtag Restore the SnyderVerse has been trending on Twitter for over a month. It was tweeted even more than Avengers Endgame on the day it started. And amidst all this, Warner Bros. Recently launched a trailer for the 4K version of Justice League's theatrical version. As expected, it has over 91,000 dislikes right now. And now, instead of taking fan demand as constructive criticism, the fans will be called toxic. Warner Bros. Is never going to accept or give them what they want, because they have already major plans set in motion. Starting from the Suicide Squad, going through to Batman, Black Adam, The Flash, Aquaman 2, and Shazam 2. Warner Bros. Already has a release slate ready. To follow them, there are several other DC movies under development. Even on HBO Max, projects like Green Lantern, Peacemaker, Gotham PD, and Justice League Dark are under works. So there is just no time to place the SnyderVerse. Despite having a multiverse supporting narrative in play, Warner Bros. Is not ready to give the SnyderVerse a chance because it might hamper what they are already doing. According to them, the Green Lantern cameo in the Snyder Cut could have hindered with the upcoming Green Lantern series, so it was removed. Ben Affleck's Batman project could take the limelight away from Matt Reeves as the Batman, so it won't happen either. Recently, a fan wrote that Warner Bros. Doesn't deserve Snyder, and the visionary director replied that the studio doesn't want him either. This means that the discussions have happened, and it's a no on the SnyderVerse. It's good that he got full support from Netflix, but it's just sad to see what happened with him at Warner Bros. Are you okay with the fact that the SnyderVerse won't be restored? Let me know in the comments. And do hit the like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed this video. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.
All right.